Am I the asshole for telling my sister nobody owes her motherhood? My oldest sister is 40. She always wanted to be a mom, but some complications meant she was never able to be a biological mom. In her 20s she met a widower with young kids and married him, admitting her intention was to become a mom through them. Her stepkids were never okay with her like that, and for the last 16 years she has struggled to come to terms with the fact not one of them considers her their mom or embraces her like she would like. This is something she always complains about when she's around our family, especially me and our sisters. 3 years ago one of my sisters was expecting her third child and she was going through a lot and struggling with her pregnancy. She wasn't sure they could handle a third child and worried about financials because her husband had a new job that paid less than his old one. The old one folded a few months before that, and they had already made adjustments to factor in the new household budget. My oldest sister harassed her for months about letting her adopt the baby, going as far as going to our brother-in-law about it and telling him she wanted the baby and he should talk our sister around. It never happened, but it did harm her relationship with the rest of the family. I gave birth to my second child in November and had a procedure to make sure I had no more kids. Both my pregnancies have been awful on my body, and I didn't want to risk putting myself through that again. My sister brought this up last week. She said I was selfish to sterilize myself before offering to be a surrogate for her and that I could have given her my youngest to adopt at the very least. I told her I wanted my kids so I would never ever give one of them up like that. She said her dreams of motherhood were important. I told her nobody owed her motherhood though, and the way she was carrying on was wrong, and concerning, and she had brushed aside our concerns before. But she needed to get some help because she can't keep demanding others give her kids. She flipped out and started screaming that as her family we should want to help her reach her dream of motherhood and we should be more understanding because she gets shit on by her stepchildren and doesn't get any of the joy the rest of us have. We have been sensitive for years. We encouraged her to speak to someone countless times. But she keeps going on like this and it is concerning. Her marriage has felt the strain of it all. But I know I might have been harsh saying we didn't owe her motherhood, which is why I'm here. Am I the asshole? I would never ever offer another living human being to someone who feels entitled to them like your sister does. She needs serious help and you guys need to keep an eye on her around the kids. I get TJAT, it is tragic for her not having kids, but coping like this is abuse and the rest of you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's weird as fuck she just wants to take anyone's kids. Wow. First off, your sister needs a lot of help. She is so obsessed with having children that she is turning into someone most people wouldn't even want their kids around. You're keeping a close eye on your little ones, right? She needs therapy and quite possibly medication. Second, not the asshole. You actually put it very well, nobody is owed motherhood, and your sister is wrong to expect others to hand it to her. The words were a bit blunt, but I have the feeling you have tried to be nice about the whole thing for a long time. And the comment about you being a surrogate for her was the last straw. It's not up to you to make her a mom. Good luck to your family, particularly her husband. Not the asshole, she needs some serious therapy. I feel like I'm reading the intro to a Criminal Minds episode. Big not the asshole. The fact that your sister is so obsessed with having children and never thought to actually adopt and instead tried to force multiple family members to give her their children and then said you should have offered to be her surrogate? All big waving banners of scarlet. She should not be allowed to have a child that actually depends on her. Because that baby's life won't be the priority, her being a mom will be. Good on you for standing up to her. She clearly needs it. Not the asshole, she's being unreasonable. She can't expect you to be a surrogate for her when you're going to have health issue with pregnancy. If she really wants a child of her own, she can adopt a kid and raise as her own. Am I the asshole for my response to my BIL's truth serum? I am 33, I'm a former drug addict. I've been clean for over 11 years and I'd established a good home life for me and my wife. We are now ready to adopt. Can't have our own kids due to fertility issues and all other option had already been exhausted. So anyway, we visited my in-laws' house to have dinner and break the news to them. Brother-in-law was there with his wife and kids. Frankly, brother-in-law and don't get along all too well. He for some reason keeps bringing up my past, which is annoying to an extent, but I never said anything about it. He says he has what he call truth serum, which enables him to tell it how it is and never sugarcoat anything. We were sitting eating when the topic of adoption came up. Mill and Phil congratulated us and hoped that everything will work out well. But brother-in-law stared silently for a while, then said, I'm not sure how a druggie can be eligible to adopt." I paused and the room got quiet. My wife tried to change the topic, but I asked brother-in-law what that was about. He shrugged and said he was just under the affect of the truth serum. I absolutely went off on him and told him I too just taken my truth serum, and it's beginning to kick in so fast. I then began berating him, saying that I'm not on drugs. I have been clean for 11 plus years and I will gladly take a DNA test, a urine, blood, hair sample, and a fucking lie detector to prove it. I then brought up his smocks, alcohol and prescription drug intake and told him to look in the fucking mirror to see who the real druggie is. He was absolutely shocked, even his wife was in shock. I then casually sat down and resumed eating from my plate. Brother-in-law got up from his chair silently and went outside. It was awkward, I could tell. His wife then got the kids and rushed out. My wife and her mom followed her, trying to get her and brother-in-law to get back inside, but they left. My wife started yelling at me for what I said to her brother and said that this is who is, but I escalated thing and ruined dinner when I could have ignored him. I don't know, I admit I let my anger get the best of me and I could have kept my composure but felt like I was done with it. Am I the asshole for my response? Did I go too far here? Not the asshole. You gave him a taste of his own medicine and he didn't like it. Good for you. He sounds like an enormous fool. Not the asshole. The parents and your wife just always enabled and justify his behavior with the "that's just how it is" line. You should from now on always mirror his energy. I'm not sure how a druggie can be eligible to adopt. Well, you can probably use the internet and read up on that, instead of bothering me. Not the asshole, and boo to your wife. She could have stood up for you. Not the asshole. He is one of those people who claims to be just being honest when really they are being a bully. Your wife and her family should have shut him down years ago. There is no telling how much pain he has caused others with his abhorrent attitude. Not the asshole. Sounds like brother-in-law has chosen the term truth serum to replace brutally honest, which is only used just to be brutal. Bill dug his own hole, you just helped him in. ETA apologized to the family for the outburst. Only brother-in-law can just suck it up. If your wife's reaction to someone being an asshole to you and you defend yourself is to yell at you, then you should reconsider adopting a child with her. That's a red flag, man. She should have put a stop to that the first time he made a remark. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she would have been an awful mother? 33M, I'm a single foster dad to Andrew, 7M. I started fostering him during COVID and hope to adopt him as soon as possible. My parents love my kid and they babysit every chance they get. My brother and Sil also watch him a lot. They have 3 kids and they are great friends with Andrew. My sister had many miscarriages throughout the years, the last one was just weeks ago. My sister loved Andrew at the beginning. Then he started showing interest in ballet, dresses, pink clothes, Barbie dolls, etc. All your usual girl stuff. I'm fine with it. He is a child that is inventing his identity, and social gender norms are ridiculous anyway. He is also letting his hair grow long and it grew over his shoulders already. My sister strongly disapproves of me letting my son be whoever he is. She always buys him boys, clothes and toys, which he doesn't like, so he never uses it. I have told her repeatedly to either buy him things he likes or simply buy him nothing. The other day she was watching him and when I came over to pick him up, my sister lives at my parents', he was dressed in boys' clothes and his hair was cut, very short. I asked him what happened and he said that auntie took him to the hairdresser and shopping for appropriate clothes. He started crying when he told me. I lost it and asked my sister what the F is wrong with her. I told my son to go wait in the car and then I told my sister that she is never watching him again. She said that she just wants what's best for him. I told her he is my child, not hers, and I'm the one to decide what he needs and what he gets. She said I am a horrible father and I replied, you would have been an awful mother. Sister cried. My mom said I didn't need to be that mean, and my dad said my sister was out of line doing that to my kid. Some of my friends said I was an asshole for saying that so soon after she lost her baby. Am I the asshole here? My mom said I didn't need to be that mean, saying that so soon after she lost her baby. I'm going with not the asshole. I say that with a wife who has had 2 miscarriages. While her own situation sucks and the timing was awful, you have no control over it. More importantly, your remark was directly related to her misguided attempt at mothering a child who is not her own. She didn't feed him chips and candy when you said no sweets, she cut his hair and made him buy and wear clothing he did not want. She decided what was best for her, not you or your child. Not the asshole. Beyond the bullshit she pulled with your son, if she can't handle being told she'd be a terrible mother, shouldn't have called you a terrible father. Don't dish it if you can't eat it. Not the asshole. From the situation you described, your sister would be an awful mother to a child that doesn't fit her cookie-cutter outdated views. The timing so soon after a miscarriage is unfortunate, yes, however that does not give her a free pass to do what she did. Your son is your child, and she way overstepped her role as aunt. You were advocating and standing up for your child, who she blatantly mistreated. Edited to indicate sister, not Sil. I cannot believe there exists a single YTA judgment on this one. She assaulted your son, cutting his hair without permission. She deserves every bit of verbal meanness she received. Fuck people who feel the need to enforce traditional gender norms. Protect your son from this awful woman. Not the asshole, but you will be if she ever gets to be around him unsupervised again. Not the asshole. I am going to sound awful here, but I agree with you. She would have damaged a child forcing them to be something that they are not. Not the asshole. She's way out of line, and how do the standards of conduct apply to you but not to her? Am I the asshole for walking out of a chess match against a kid? I, am 26, was at a park playing some chess, open table, some other people playing. I had just finished a game, but all of a sudden a mom and her son walked up to me. In a very demanding tone she asked if her son could play chess with me. Her son seemed about 9 years old. I wanted to be nice and said okay, but she whispered in my ear to go easy on him. I was a bit ticked off about this, as it was obvious that she was going to throw a fit if he lost, even though I spent my time playing against a 9-year-old. I set up the board anyway, and the kid sat down way too close to my face. I tried to ignore it, but he seemed to keep going forward. I stuck out my hand to shake before I started the game, well-known chess etiquette, but he just looked at it confused. I started the game and we played for a little while, but in about 2 minutes he made an illegal move. He moved his queen like a knight. This happens a lot on accident, so I tried to tell him as kindly as possible, "You can't move there, it's illegal." The kid then said that he could, and that a newbie often thinks that the queen can only move diagonally, vertically, and horizontally. I could see the mom staring, so I told myself, whatever, and continued playing. The piece only lasted a few minutes before he checked with his queen on a square I defended and started screaming, "Check! Check!" I quickly took the queen with my rook. Then silence. The kid started screaming, "He cheated! He cheated!" to his mom. At this point I was so fed up that I packed up and left without looking back as the mom screamed at me. Am I the asshole for walking out of a chess game against a kid? Not the asshole. You're not obliged to put up with a badly behaved child and being accused of cheating. It was generous of you to agree to play with him to start with. Of course not the asshole. Kid wasn't even playing right. He was even making his own rules. He's going to be in for a whiplash-inducing reality check when he competes in pretty much anything, ever. Lol. Not the asshole. Mom is the asshole for raising a spoiled brat. Not the asshole. Thank you for playing with the kid, showing the etiquette and reminding him of the rules. As a parent I'd appreciate that so much if my kid was in that situation. You're a good one. Not the asshole. In a few years, the mom will be here posting, "My teen is an entitled brat, and I don't know why." Not the asshole. I play against my daughter and have never let her win. I tell her that when she beats me, she knows it will be for real. She complained a bit once, and only once. I asked her who wins when she plays against her cousin. My daughter said of course she wins every time. Guess whose dad always lets her win? I asked. She has never complained since, and I gotta say, it is only a matter of time before she beats me.